Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Dr. Dawn Michael, and today we're going to talk about NoFap. And what that really is a movement that came about where people are trying not to masturbate and trying not to watch pornography as a way to channel sexual energy. That's basically how it started out, but now it's morphed into many different areas. So I'm going to kind of dispel some of it and give you my opinion on this idea of not masturbating. So first of all, harnessing sexual energy has been around for centuries. This is nothing new. People have had this idea that if you don't have a release or you don't masturbate, you're able to harness this sexual energy and use it to be better in sports or use it to achieve greater wealth, use it so that when you do have sex, you're a better lover. So all of these things are tied into this idea of not masturbating or NoFap. But what else NoFap has put into it is the idea of pornography, and they kind of mixed the two together, the no masturbation and the no pornography. And I really want to take those two and divide them up because they're really two very different things. So let's first talk about no masturbation. The body, it functions the heart beats, you breathe. There's certain parts of your body that function whether you think about it or not. For men and women, they both have nocturnal erections where the penis gets erect a couple times during the night. The blood flows to it. Same with women to the clitoris. So this is not something that you think about. This is something that happens to your body naturally. Well, if you are somebody who masturbates on a regular basis, your body could even have a nocturnal emission without you knowing it, but you may know it in the morning, or women having orgasms. So that's when we get into this idea of what is healthy and what is not healthy. So if you have had a masturbation pattern since you were a teenager and you masturbated every day, every other day, once a week, everybody's different. So masturbation means that you're having a release. And so your body gets used to this. And once it gets used to it, it regulates itself. The hormones regulate. Everything regulates around that pattern. So when you get into a relationship, I've talked about this before, and maybe you're having, sex every day the first time you get in, then maybe it decreases to every third or fourth day. Most times you're still masturbating in between, and I'm talking about men more so than women, usually when it comes to relationships. But the idea that you are just going to stop masturbating for a week, for a month, for months, it's not actually something that's healthy for your body, because your body is used to that release. And for some people, they can go through depression. It can affect their hormones, lowering their sex drive, lowering testosterone, their hormones, so that their body is no longer functioning like it used to. And so this, again, is not necessarily a good thing to put your body through. And what happens is, for most people, it doesn't really work. Now, if you feel that you have a problem with masturbation and you're doing it too much, meaning it's affecting your life in a negative way, the best way to deal with that is maybe not to do it as much. So maybe instead of doing it every day or 3 times a day, whatever amount you're doing, start cutting it back and replacing a little bit of it with some exercise, deep breathing, yoga, finding a hobby. So it's not that you're stopping it altogether, which is never a good thing, but you're just decreasing it so that you have a little bit more control. That is the masturbation aspect of it. Now, the pornography part of it, that is completely different, and I do like to separate that from masturbation. Because whereas masturbation is healthy and it can be something that regulates your hormones, your body, your desire, watching pornography with it is not necessarily healthy for people. Now, if you use it responsibly and it doesn't affect you, then I'm not going to go into that part of it. But especially for young people who used to masturbate maybe to, a magazine or their imagination, so they were able to build their imagination, they were able to connect with their body and really understand what what feels good. That would be, like the normal masturbation cycle. This idea of actually watching pornography, it takes you out of that mind body connection, and now you're watching a video. So now you're kind of disconnecting from yourself and you're watching a video. And a lot of these videos are not just, a man and woman having intercourse or a loving relationship. They are unrealistic. They're not meant to be an educational video. They're meant to entertain, and a lot of it is unrealistic. It's not normal human behavior. A lot of the pornography out there that you would be viewing, you wouldn't happen to find that in most situations. And so a lot of people are being taught about sex and relationships through pornography, even though they may know, oh, this isn't real. It still gets into their mind. It still gets into what makes them aroused. And that's what people don't really talk about, is this idea of what is arousing somebody at a younger age, and is that something that's now going to stick with them as they get older, and now they need that particular arousal to get off in a relationship, or that's what turns them on. So maybe it's had an unnatural impact on what turns them on. That's where some of the problem is, and because we haven't studied it enough, we don't really know all the implications. But I can tell you from working with people in their 20s who basically were brought up on watching pornography, it has had a negative effect on some of these people. It's made it so that they're attracted to certain things that they normally may not have been attracted to. It's had them try different, not just sexual positions, but go out and try different things that they normally wouldn't have done. And maybe they got themselves in a risky situation. So, there is some negative side effects to this exploding pornography industry. And also the fact that younger people are watching it, and I'm talking, young people, young kids, they can watch it on their phone, teenagers can watch it, and this becomes their idea of sex. And so I can see where the NoFap concerning the pornography has some realistic value to it, but I don't see that it plays in with masturbation itself, because I think that if somebody can maybe start to fantasize or even read novels or do something else where they're connecting with their body and having that same sexual release and backing away from the pornography, then they may be able to get aroused by different things and also have more of a connected relationship. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, don't watch pornography or that all pornography is bad. That's not the point I'm trying to make. What I'm trying to make is, if you are having a problem with your sex life and you are watching porn and it is creating an issue in your life with either a spouse or meeting someone, or you're just spending way too much time watching it, then it's something that you need to cut back. And also, I do not advocate pornography for younger people. I will tell you that right now. I do think that it affects them negatively. So there's some parts of the NoFap that maybe are beneficial, but I just think that it's become too much of I don't want to say a religion, but it's just become too much of this strict idea that you have to follow it one certain way, and if you don't, then somehow you're doing it the wrong way. And that was kind of what I wanted to come on and talk about. Now, if you have some comments and you want to start a discussion on this, please go ahead and leave your comment. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and share this video with others so that it gets out and it's circulated. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. So that's about it today on this discussion of NoFap. I gave you my opinion on it. I hope you understand the history. And there also is a certain other aspect to it that's called edging. And I can get into that in another video, although I have talked about edging on previous videos, but there is a correlation to this harnessing of energy that sometimes people get into, and there could be some positive and negative aspects to that as well. All right, as you know, I believe everyone deserves to have a healthy sex life, and so do you.